Hello you gorgeous mother truckers you, and welcome to another video. Right then, I'm back after I was going to say a weekend away with Mrs. G, but we had to cut the holiday short for a few reasons, which I'll go into in another video, but not now. But so I wasn't due back today, I was due back tomorrow, but I drove home yesterday. Yeah, so as I said, we'll discuss that in another video. Now, a lot of things have happened over the weekend again. It always seems whenever I go away, lots of amazing and interesting things occur which need to be spoken about, and of course that means I'm way behind the curve, so to speak. So I can't, I'm going to be behind everybody else, but it is what it is. You know, this job is what it is. Doing what you do. Just also noticed that Paul Thorpe's put a video out, something to do with owning an explanation. So it looks like he's walking away, and unlike other people, you know, if he is, he is. You know, I mean, the pressures that are brought upon people who speak out or dare question are immeasurable. I know I've just noticed someone sent me a link to the fact that even a Royal Marine has been investigated because of something he said, because this is the messed up world that we live in. Yes, we had the very small victory about trans women and their definition, or the definition of a woman. We had that, but the insanity continues to grow. It gets worse every day, and I think it's going to become more increasingly difficult to do these videos. And I know a lot of people, you know, look forward to people speaking out and trying to keep common sense, but the thing is, it's quite obvious as you become more popular, as people begin to notice you more, the more the pressure suddenly starts to get added on your shoulders, because in the end they'll get rid of all of us who speak out, and that is a foregone conclusion. I think any of us who do these kind of videos and speak like we speak have all come to the realization that sooner or later we're going to have to stop. Now, this isn't me doing a I'm going to quit video, because I'm not. I'm just talking about the current environment and how the environment's getting worse. You see, at the moment I'm in a fairly okay position because I've only got 8,000 subs, and the other number goes up and down like a yo-yo. But that's has been noticed by many people who even watch my videos, that my comment section now is getting heavily deleted by YouTube, and the viewing average I used to get has dropped dramatically. I'm getting the distinct impression that we're all being throttled back or shadow banned, even though of course they always pretend or deny such things occur. But it is funny how people were getting X amount of video viewers per video, and then all of a sudden they're not anymore, and it's really sort of took a big downturn. And that's because it's just not being pushed out, so the algorithm is working against us. And the bigger you get, the more you get noticed, the more you may notice extra little pressures being added on, little things here and there, which is the government, the powers that be, saying I'm not happy with you. And it is, and we've spoken about this many times before, but it is really bad that you've got to a situation where you are beginning to wonder whether speaking the truth and giving a common sense version of events is really worth it. And that's not me being like defeatist at all, because I'm not being defeatist at all. What I'm actually saying is, you can see why people are saying they've had enough, or they're walking away, or there's a change of tact of how they do things. Because to speak like we speak, like I speak, to do the things I do, to say the things I say, you're constantly having to do a mental test in your head. There are times where, and I'm sure other people who've done videos as well, where you've recorded it, you've listened to it back and thought, oh shit, I can't really say that. And that's a horrible thing. And I mean, it's not like something being, you know, really nastily racist or something like that. But it's like, not even that. It's just something you think, oh, you automatically presume you're going to get into trouble for that one particular thing that you said. And that's a horrible world to live in. Genuinely it is. Where you have to genuinely think about what you're saying. But as I said, this is just a I'm back sort of video. And I'm just sort of spitballing, getting out amongst everybody there. I mean, I've already had comments on the last video I did, because people seem to think that I'm presuming everybody thinks the same as me. And I don't, of course. And if you actually watch any of the other videos, I always say on multiple occasions, what I'm saying is my opinion. You don't have to agree with me at all. And I don't think I speak for the nation. I mean, I've had it where people have said, oh, you're splitting the vote like I'm something important when I'm not. Yeah. And people you need to step into the real world. I am in the real world. But unlike everybody, unlike people who comment, I'm in the real world with my eyes wide open. But I also understand that there's a vast majority of people who just don't give a shit. And it's amazing how you do something about, you know, stop being desperate and grabbing onto anything, and you get comments going, yeah, but reform are all we've got. So you're literally proving my point. You're going to vote for somebody who you're hoping. Oh, well, they're going for the middle ground. Since when has ever going for the middle ground ever worked out well for this country? You see, I understand that, and some people seem to think I need to be educated. I mean, I understand the processes and the way things work, okay? I'm not a retard like some people seem to think I am. The simple truth of the matter is, we've been going for the middle ground for the last 50 years. And what has that exactly achieved? What has voting for a safe bet ever benefited us? And that's the question you got to answer. And that's why I say what I said in the previous video. That's why are we just accepting that'll do? Because accepting that'll do, or well, we know they've got issues, but what has that actually gained any of us? If going for the middle ground, as somebody keeps calling it, guarantees prosperity, has it? Can you honestly, with your hand on your heart, say in the last, we'll even narrow it down, in the last 10 years, you've been better off? That the country's been in a better place? I've lived through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the thousands. The 80s were great, but we had problems then. The 70s were great, but they had problems. We've always had an underlying issue. You know, we've always had problems. The 90s were okay, but that's where the 90s started off great, and then those in charge realised that actually we're prospering too much, so they instigated what you're getting now, because they don't want us to have too much. They don't want us to have it nice. So it's all like saying, let's go for the middle ground. Let's all stop moaning or pointing out real issues that we have, and let's just try and make everybody get along falsely and the middle ground, and we'll vote for reform because they're going for the middle ground, and we'll get what we want, and you'll just get the same, because we've always got the same. And that's the point of that video. That's the point of this video, is the fact that you have to understand that we're being penalised for speaking the truth, and we are being penalised for speaking the truth, because no one wants the truth anymore. And unfortunately, millions of sheeple millions of people who usually comment on my videos and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, they're blissfully happy with the situation that they're in. They couldn't give a monkey's. And in reality, until something actually directly threatens the middle class, nothing will change. I mean, while we were away, one of the reasons we came back early from our little honeymoon holiday was the fact that I'm on a holiday camp with kids and other parents. We didn't have our kids, it was just the two of us. And directly behind me was a caravan full of 6 Afghans. Now, they weren't on holiday. They were also wearing the same sort of clothes that they're wearing all the time. And they're such wonderful people that they go outside the van to piss up the side of the van. And when I complained, I was told basically to shut up. And then when we went round the camp, we found that there's another 4 or 5 caravans with Afghans in them. I mean, that was one of the reasons. The other reason was the food on there. Well, as I said, I'll touch that, but that was one of the reasons we came home. I went away to a very rural haven site. It's the most rural haven site. It's literally in the middle of fucking nowhere. And there's Afghan immigrants staying in the caravans. I mean, one of the lads from over the other way was complaining that they were hanging around and he didn't like it because of their kids. And he was told to basically shut up. And he went home early as well. He took his wife and kids home off their main holiday, I guess. He left as well. Yeah, highlighting that, mentioning that, makes me enemy number 1. Trying to tell people what's going on in the world makes me enemy number 1. And apparently I need to step into the real world. I'm living the real world. And the real world's not good. Any case, enough of that. 2 videos coming up at the end of this one. One will be the last one I uploaded. The other one will be the one that the gods of YouTube have picked with their algorithm. It's called the Chosen One. If you like what I'm saying, agree with what I'm saying, you just hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. You can even attempt, and I mean attempt, to put a comment in on this video. It's up to YouTube whether or not they're going to blatterize it or not. Again, this is completely out of my control now. Any case, enough of that. I'm done. So, until the next one.
It's so narrow at the bottom.